Hello, welcome to my channel. This is my very first video. Eee, and I'm so excited. This channel is gonna be mostly beauty related, specifically like makeup looks. I really do like using colors and vibrant glitters and all kinds of fun stuff on my face. I do a little bit of natural looks from time to time, but mostly I just love colors. So that's gonna be a lot what you're gonna see on this channel. And like I said, I'm so excited. This is my very first video. And one thing about me is I really like to inspire my makeup looks based on the earrings that I'm wearing. I have a lot of fun, creative, wacky earrings. And I think it just gives me a very good base to start off with. Like, what kind of look do I want to do? Do I want to go for like a pink look, a purple, blue? Like, it just goes on and on and on. And it's just so fun to just inspire your looks based on your earrings. So like today I have these really fun blue spiders. They have a little bit of yellow in them, and I think those are black polka dots, so it's going to be really fun to inspire my look based on these spiders. And I love it so much because Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, and it's just around the corner. So the more spooky looks that are out there, the more creative things you can do like leading up to Halloween. So I'm so excited. So let's get ready to this video and get started. So today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. concealer in the color Fair Rose. It is quite lighter than my skin tone, but that's okay because I like using light colors, like especially like this, under my eyes to brighten up those colors. And what I'm going to use this for is I'm going to carve out the bottom of my eyebrow, which is going to give me a nice clean look. I'm going to be using a flat brush. As you can tell, I've been using this one before because I do it all the time. A flat brush. And I'm just going to scoop a little bit of that product off of the cap or like the brush and just carving out the bottom of my eyebrows. And then once I have the eyebrow carved, I like to get a like oval fluffy brush and just kind of blend that out and just basically make it look a little nicer. All right, there we go. I have naturally really dark eyebrows and they always go crazy, so I never like to add any product to them, or at least no like color to them, because then it just makes them look even more dark and they just look crazy. There on my eyelids, I like to go ahead and just start with the eyeshadow primer. I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended eye base. It's one of my favorite ones. I feel like this base is so good because no matter if I put shimmers or like matte shadows, it stays on all day long. And I could be doing like a lot of things that day and I noticed there's no creasing and it's smooth and it's very good in my opinion. So I really like using this primer. So what I like to do is I like to rub it on my fingers like this and just mix it around, get it nice and warm. So I like to just dab it on until I feel like it's almost dry or it's getting tacky. Same thing with this eye. All right, so now that our lids are nice and prime, now we can add those colors. Today I'm gonna be using the P. Louise X Michaela to have and to hold eyeshadow palette. So the reason why I love using this eyeshadow palette is because, girl, look at all these blues and all these beautiful like transition like warm tones you can use, and I'm so excited. So let's get to this palette and dive in. Off with the color Castle Hill, this one right here, that on the outer side of my lid, so we're just gonna blend that out. So now that we have the light blue color blended out to the very top of our lid, next I'm going to grab a different brush. I have this brush. It's fluffy, but it has a little bit to like a point to it, and I want to be using another shade. I'm gonna go for this one right here. This is the color Wedding Blues. So you can see it's a darker blue than the one I use. It's a really nice. I'm just gonna put that towards just the middle part, like right here, that little crease right there. But I won't blend it as high as I did the light blue. Now we're gonna do the same thing to the other eye. So now that I have those two blue shades in my eyes, the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carve a cut crease right here. With that same concealer, I'm gonna grab that same flat brush or a new flat brush. I'm gonna be cleaning my brushes, so that's why I'm using the same one. And I'm gonna go ahead and just carve. So I have a little bit on that end, and this is how I carve. I start off from, honestly, I like to start off from the middle and just look up a little bit, because then you can see where I need to carve. So I'm gonna start from the end, from right here, and work my way up until I get to that part. And you want to go really slow and steady because you don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to go ahead and just focus on this real quick. Okay, so we got that eye carved. Now let's move on to the next eye. All right, so now I have both of those eyes carved. Next, I'm going to be using the Michaela X Glam Light palette. It's this one right here. And it's so beautiful because it has that glitter in the inside, and I will be honest, I use this palette a lot. Actually, all of Michaela's palettes that she has made or created with X Glam Light, I love so much because they're so pigmented, and I'm a big fan of like shimmers like this. So anytime a palette has shimmers, yes girl, like sold, like I'm buying that quick. So I'm going to be using the color Handy, and I'm going to be adding that to that crease part. I'm going to be using a clean flat brush like this. This one is a little thicker than the one that I used to carve out my eyebrows and stuff because it does hold a little bit more product, so it is going to hold more of that eyeshadow. And you want to just pack it on there, girl. Just pack it on. You don't want to drag it like this because it will like take some of that concealer as well. So you just want to pack it. Okay, so we have that eye down. Okay, now we have both of those eyes with that beautiful yellow and that blue now. So next, I'm going to be adding a darker blue on this corner right here so I can add that shadow. I'm going to be using the color Captured Heart, which is this one right here. And I'm using a fluffy brush, but it's a little bit more compact so I can pick up pigment, but not a whole lot so it doesn't go all over the place. And first I like to just add it to this corner right here. And I'm going to just, first I'm going to add it, then I'm going to fluff it out, like I'm going to blend it out a little bit. And you want to just keep adding color until you're satisfied with how dark you want that outer corner to look. And what I like to do is I like to just kind of fluff it out just a little bit, not too much, and fluff in or like blend in some of that color towards the yellow as well. I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to look green, because blue and yellow will make green, but I will do just a little bit to give it some of that soft blending. Okay, now that both eyes are done, next I'm going to be using a gold or yellow glitter to add on that crease that we cut to give it that glitter and that pop. Oh, and I'm using the Cosmetics C Ma DU eyeliner. I got a pack of these on Amazon. I think it was like $15 for like, I want to say 15 different glitters. So it's my first time trying it, so I'm excited to see how these perform. Honestly, not bad for $15. I mean, look, it's pretty glittery and it packs on very well, so I'm really impressed. Both eyes are done, and girl, look at that glitter and that crease. It looks so good. I'm so happy with it so far. Next, I'm going to be using the Fade into Hue ColourPop palette. It looks like this. Excuse the pink, it's gone. A friend gifted me this palette and the pink kind of broke. Ooh, a big smile, which is this one right here. And I'm actually going to be using the tip of my finger to apply that only in this part right here where I blended out the blue and the yellow. And I'm just gonna be dabbing it like this because I don't want to drag it and end up mixing the colors even more and making all those colors mix and look green. Next, I'm going to be using the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner or ink liner. This, I will say, is one of my favorite eyeliners because I've had this for so long and the color like never fades. Like you always get pigment out of this, and the good thing about it is like the tip is very pointy, so you can make very thin lines or very thick lines depending on how you want your eyeliner to be. Medium, so I'm gonna do just a little bit like this. And you want to get as close to your eyelash line as possible so any of that color doesn't peek through whenever you're looking straight. Next, I'm going to be using the Ioni Halfling lashes. I got these at the dollar store for $1.50 and I have them right here. So these are gonna be half lashes. They're not gonna be the full, just gonna be like half. And it's gonna create that really beautiful like cat eye look in a way. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this Duo eyelash glue. And I believe this is the white clear. So it's gonna look white, but once it's done, it's gonna clear whenever it's done drying. And while those eyelashes are drying, I'm going to use the Lash Paradise L'Oreal mascara to just basically add some mascara to my lashes. And I like to do a really generous coat because I want to make sure that every eyelash is covered and it blends in with the false eyelashes. Okay, I think one lash has already semi-dried, so it's pretty tacky, ready to be applied. So now that I put the first eyelash down, I put it on the middle, then I did this side, and now I'm gonna go and do this side. Get them as close as you can on top of that your natural lashes. And what I like to do is I like to grab and just kind of pinch down. So like I'll grab the lash and I'll push down, so that way I don't like accidentally like pinch my eye, because I have done that, it hurts really bad. And then if you can, you want to pinch your natural lashes with the fake lashes. Okay. Okay, one eyelash done. Ooh, so cute. And now we're moving on to the next eye. Same thing. Okay, so now I have the lashes on both eyes. I know you can see a little bit of that glue right there, but like I mentioned, it's gonna dry clear, so you won't be able to see it, which is a good thing. And now that our lashes are on and it's drying, I'm gonna move on to the face before I move on to the bottom of my eyes. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the color Wheat under my, and I like to put some on like this, just a little bit. And then I get a fluffy brush like this, and I like to just blend it out. And surprisingly, whenever I did my eyeshadow, I didn't really have a lot of fallout. Usually when I do blues, I get a lot of blue right here, but I didn't have any, so I didn't have to clean it up. Okay, so now that I have that concealer, next thing I like to do is I like to do a foundation or a BB cream, CC cream, depending on how like I want my base to look. Because I'm doing a really dark eyeshadow, like the blues and stuff, I like to do more of a really thin foundation, almost like a BB cream. I'm using the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk in the color Light Medium 550. This one is very thin, so to me, I don't really like putting the primer because it doesn't really need it. And my skin, I've noticed that when I don't have primer, it lasts longer than whenever I do put primer. I don't know why, so I like to put a little bit on my face like this. And it might look like a lot, but whenever I start blending it out, it's very thin. It almost just looks like my actual skin. And I'm using a buffing brush to blend that all out. As you can see how thin it is, it almost, like I said, it looks just like my natural skin. It's so light. You want to make sure you get down to your neck as much as you can, so you don't get that harsh line from when it meets your neck to your face. You get something like this. It's very thin, very natural, it's very soft, and your skin still breathes, so it's not like it's really cakey where your skin feels like it's just being suffocated by all of that foundation. So next I'm going to be using the Kimchi Puff Puff Pass Set and Bake Powder. I like to use this particular product under my eyes only, and then sometimes if I have a little bit left over, I do the rest on my face. And I like to grab one of these because you can get really packed it into those corners right there and just make sure that everything is just nice and just covered up so it doesn't crease all day long. In this part, I do like to take it all the way out to here so that way it's nice and brightened. Okay. Next, I'm going to be using the NYX Professional Makeup Can't Stop Won't Stop in the color Tan all over my face. And I get a really big fluffy brush like this to put all over my face. And it's really nice because I can pack on a lot of that powder and I can just press it on or brush it on. Right now I'm just pressing it on. I like to focus on the nose too because my nose gets very oily throughout the day. And definitely my forehead because my forehead is already looking mad shiny. Next, I'm going to be using the NYX Professional Makeup Buttermelt Bronzer in the color Butter Off right here. And I like to get an angled brush like this to pack on that color because you can get that nice precision with that angled brush and fluff it up or down depending on how bronzy you want your cheeks to look. And I love this bronzer so much because it looks like it has some redness to it. So it could almost look like a bronzer and a blush in one, but I always still like to add blush to give it that extra pink or the cute little cheeky colors. And I like to add it all the way up to my temple bone whenever there's a little bit of extra left. Okay, now we have added bronze to both sides of our face. Next, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place Blush Volume 1. It comes with 2 colors. I'm using this color. But I'm going really light because I'm already using blues and yellows and I want to keep it more focused on the eye look versus like the face. And I like to focus it just on the outside right here. And whatever's left, I like to bring it in. Can't forget about your temples as well. Next, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome highlighter. This is one of my favorite highlighters. I love highlighters so much. I think it's probably one of my favorite makeup products. And I like to use my finger and just kind of swirl it around because it is very pigmented. And then the more you add, the more shimmery it looks. I like to put that on my cheekbones. And as you can see, it's so pretty. I'll get a more close-up look so you can see, but it's so beautiful, especially whenever the sun hits it. Oh, it's just unbelievable. And I like to do some on my nose right here, just the tip at the little high points of my nose. And then I like to put a little bit right there with my finger just to get a little bit of highlight on my brow bone. It looks something like this. Next, I'm going to be using Winter Kiss. It's a beautiful shimmery blue color under my eyes down here. And I'm using like an angled brush. You usually use this for your eyebrows or anything, but I like to use it just to pack on some of that shimmer under my eye. Next, I like to use the NYX Jumbo Multi-Use Face Stick in the color Vanilla Ice Cream. And I'm gonna put this under in my waterline. Next, I'm going to use the same highlighter that I use for the inner corner. And I like to drag it down too, so that way it just gets all that shimmer right there. Then I'm going to add mascara to the bottom lash. There we go. But we're not done yet. We're still gonna add some fun art to the outside of her eyes to go with the spider. Next, I'm going to be adding some gemstones to my face. I got this pack off of Amazon. It came with 2. And you get different sizes. Some of them are really small, some are a little bit bigger, different colors. So it's gonna be really fun to see how these work my first time trying them. They came with the glue, so we'll see. And I'm just gonna add dots of glue all over my face, or at least over around my eyes. Ooh, it looks like a mole. I like it. Next, I'm gonna use the Chucky Glam Light. This is actually an eyeliner, but I like to use it for my lips sometimes too. And I'm gonna outline just the outside of my lips. Now that I have it outlined, I'm going to be using the Morphe Free Bird gloss. It's honestly like a tinted gloss, but it's really nice once you blend these out when you blend these all together. Ooh, look at that. But yes, this is a look. What do you guys think? And this is the final look. I love how we incorporated that blue in there, that yellow, the black gemstones to go with the polka dots of the spider. So let me know what you guys think. And once again, thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.